is Savri. I'm here today with a few friends of mine. We all went to the same middle school, but now we go to various high schools and colleges. Your facilitator should have provided you a number that you can text throughout the video because we have questions for you to answer. If you don't have that number yet, pause the video and get it if you can. Now we're going to test out the texting. So take out your phones and text what is your favorite social media app or online gaming platform or your favorite online game.
Hello, I'm Melissa. Now that you know how the texting works, let's get started. We know by now that you know all about online predators, so you'll be safe on social media and gaming platforms. Plus, you'll feel safe in your own home because human trafficking only happens in movies in other countries, right? Well, today we're going to make sure that you understand the whole truth about what can happen if you aren't careful. And if you do find yourself in a situation where you do need help, we've got you covered on that too. Today's objective is to make sure that you'll be able to explain commercial sexual exploitation of children, understand what makes boys, girls, and LGBTQ teens vulnerable, explain the typical stages of exploitation and strategies that you can use to prevent it, reach out to victim advocates if necessary, and understand the laws in place that protect children who are being trafficked. Zane will take it from here.
Hi, everyone. So the reason it's important to learn about predators is that they could actually be traffickers. So once the trafficker picks their victim, they start attracting them by grooming them. So that could lead to extortion, which leads to exploitation. Essentially, the trafficker starts making money off of their victim with sex and things of that nature. So let's take a closer look at the definition of trafficking minors or commercial sexual exploitation of children. Basically, it is sexual abuse of a child by an adult in exchange for goods such as money, food, and drugs. Essentially, the child ends up being treated as just a commercial sex object. According to the U.S. Department of Justice, every 2 minutes a child is being trafficked across the United States, which unfortunately rounds out to about 100,000 to 300,000 minors per year. And according to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Florida ranks number 3 among all the states across the nation for reported calls. And that could be due to how Florida is a hotspot for sporting events and tourism and things of that nature. And now my friend Iman will take it from here.
Hey, Iman here. So here's a question. What would you do if you had a younger sibling who liked chatting with online friends? At this moment, I'd like you to pause the video and text your answers to the burner phone. You might have stated that you want your younger sibling to stay safe online, and thus go through whatever means necessary to ensure their safety. However, when doing this, do not scare them. We want them to stay safe while chatting online. Perhaps you can tell them that the person that they're talking to could be an adult pretending to be a kid. So to avoid them from getting trapped, just assure them that they can delete any unknown request that comes their way. Okay, so here's another question. What do you think it means to be vulnerable? Again, like we did before, I want you to pause the video and text your answers to the burner. So you may have stated that to be vulnerable means to be at risk, or maybe to be weak. However, interestingly enough, whatever a teen needs, whether it's to be accepted, loved, understood, having money in our pockets, brand name clothes, or even something as simple as a friend, all these things are what make teens vulnerable. And predators know this. They know this, and they prey on that vulnerability. And I know throughout this entire presentation, we've been alluding to the fact that online predators and in-person predators can be males, but oftentimes they can also be females as well. Let me give you a scenario. If you and I were in a public place and we were approached by a male or a female, most likely we'll feel less threatened by the female than we would by the male. And female predators know this, and they use that in order to lure teens into a trap. However, After this presentation, we'll equip you with the necessary skills that you will need to recognize these signs so that you can prevent this from happening to you or a friend. And now, without further ado, I'll be passing things over to Zion.
Teens assume that the trafficker is always a man. Yet, as Aman just explained, it can also be a woman. Teens also assume only girls can be victims. However, according to the U.S. Institute Against Human Trafficking, 10 to 15% of sexually trafficked children in the United States are males, conservatively. There are also some studies showing that it can be up to 50%. Next, we will show you a video from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's website about two guys both sharing their experiences.
It happened to me 5 years ago. My parents were divorcing and things at school and with friends weren't too good. I felt like the world was falling down around me. That's when I met someone online. We would chat about everything in my life. I finally had someone to take my side and see things my way. I had someone who put me first. No matter how much I thought we could trust each other, I knew better than to meet in person with someone I had met on the internet. But one day, when school was dismissed early, there was someone waiting for me at my front door. I never thought I'd find myself in this situation. I learned the hard way that no matter who you think you're talking to online, there are people out there looking to hurt you. It doesn't matter if they're male or female, or if they look a little rough around the edges, or even if they're the most beautiful person. These people exist, online and in the real world.
It happened to me too. I was 14 and someone online sent me a private message. I shouldn't have responded, but I messaged back and 7 days later, agreed to be picked up outside of my house at midnight. I was taken to another house and what happened there was terrifying. I'll remember it for the rest of my life. I felt numb and powerless and didn't know what to do. I was too afraid to tell my parents and ashamed of what everyone would think of me. But hiding it was a mistake. I saw the car that I was taking and driving around my neighborhood all summer long. Was I being targeted again, or was someone else being victimized? I finally decided to tell someone.
I have to live with the decision I made to trust someone I met on the internet.
But the important thing is that I told someone. I'm not a victim, but a survivor.
Now, I need everyone to get their phones ready because we're going to have a pop quiz. We want you to think about what might be different reasons girls are exploited versus the reasons guys could be exploited. Listen carefully to the directions on the next slide. On this slide, you will review the list of reasons that might relate to girls being exploited. You will text which letters, A, B, and etc., that you think apply to girls being exploited. A, developed an emotional attachment. B, self-exploits for drugs. C, runaway needing food and shelter. D, depressed from being bullied. E, looking for love and attention. F, looking for acceptance. Now pause the video here to text in your answers. Now text in the letters you think that relate to boys being exploited. Pause the video here to text in your answers. You've probably guessed that girls can develop an emotional attachment to the person exploiting them. But did you know that guys can too? You might be surprised to learn that both girls and guys can self-exploit if they need food, shelter, or if they have a drug addiction. Basically, both girls and guys can be exploited for the reasons listed. I also want to mention, although anyone can be looking for acceptance, this is especially important for LGBTQ teens who don't seek acceptance from home. Now,
In the next few slides, we're going to break down the 3 stages of commercial sexual exploitation of children. The first stage begins when the predator says all the right things to lure the teen, whether online or in person, to build trust and emotional attachment. This is called grooming, and most of the time seems too good to be true. When the trafficker believes the teen is ready, they will tell the teen that they need money and ask the teen to earn money for them by crossing the line, doing things such as selling private pictures or dancing at a strip club. This is the first red flag. The fact that the teen does not want to do this is a major red flag, but when the teen feels obligated to do it is when red lights start flashing. The teen knows in their gut something is wrong. Stage 3 happens only if the teen has crossed the line. Then everything changes. The trafficker who was once charming is now controlling, demanding, and even physically abusive. They will extort or blackmail the teen to do more and continue to exploit the teen daily because they believe they now own the teen and will make the teen feel like they have nowhere else to go now that they have crossed the line. Good news is Melissa's going to explain what can be done to prevent this.
Okay, so now that Crystal has discussed some of the ways of sexual exploitation of children, we're going to be using some of those same assertiveness techniques, but including them into how to prevent being exploited. Okay, now if you guys remember back to our lesson on always reviewing how to delete any unknown friend requests or chats on social media platforms, what would this situation look like if you guys had an in-person request? Now, it's really important that when this happens, you always say, once again, as assertive as you possibly can, say no, thank you, and simply walk away from the situation, not showing any signs of weakness. A lot of times in this situation, if you don't do this, you're going to be asked to cross a line by the predator. There's not really a timeline on this. It could happen between days, weeks, or even months. But when this happens, it's important that you follow 3 steps. Leave the situation by making an excuse. Something as simple as, I'm not feeling good today, let's try again tomorrow, can really open up a window of time for you to reach out to your trusted adult. Now, when thinking of a trusted adult, ask yourself the question, who would be my trusted adult at home? If for some reason you're on a school campus, there are plenty of adults on campus that would be willing to help you out in this type of situation. And once again, if it has escalated to you being in public somehow, make sure that you reach out to someone who looks friendly and trustworthy and ask to use their cell phone. Now,
I'm Otis, and I'm happy to introduce you to the people who understand how to help you and are here for you to reach out to if you don't have a trusted adult. Remember to have your phones ready after they're done speaking. That way you can take a picture of their contact information.
We're here for you if you ever need someone who understands and knows how to help. Nosotros estamos aquí para usted si alguna vez necesita a alguien que pueda ayudar y los comprenda.
If you or a friend feel unsafe and cannot speak up, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We can be a friend, a mentor, or a safe haven. You are not alone. Please reach out to us.
Hello, I'm Major Patterson. I would like to reach out to teens to let them know that child exploitation is a crime. We would like to help. If you or a friend are a victim, please reach out to law enforcement or the National Human Traffic Hotline if you need assistance.
Hello. I want to make sure that you understand that there are laws to protect minors who've been exploited. For example, Florida's Safe Harbor Act ensures that children and teens are provided a safe place to live with the services that they need. But the people who can help don't know who needs it until someone reaches out. They really do understand and they just want to help. What's more important than being safe and sound?
What would you do if you thought a friend was being exploited? Friends like to keep secrets, and some secrets are okay. Not all secrets are dangerous, but these kinds of secrets, if you keep them, are really risky to your friend. Personally, if I thought a friend was being exploited, I'd try and comfort them and help them out And, if anything that they wanted me to do to make it easier for them to get help, I'd do. What would you want a friend to do if they thought you were being exploited? Personally, if I was being exploited, I'd want a friend to listen to what I was thinking and feeling. And when I go to get help, I'd want them to come with me and kind of act as, support. Never forget, not all adults understand what you're going through, but there are trained professionals out there who've been through similar things that you have experienced and know exactly how to help you.
Hey guys, Claudia here. So let's get straight to it and just be honest. We're in high school, and it's a time in our lives where we're learning to be independent and just going through the motions and learning how to navigate life at our own pace. And it's a time where we just want to keep to ourselves and, figure out our issues on our own. But the truth is, at the end of the day, we also happen to need a trusted adult. Whether it's an older cousin or a parent, maybe even someone at school, a counselor or a teacher. We need someone who we can vent to and open up to when certain situations do show up.
Being a teenager can be empowering. Having a trusted adult can be life-saving.